Well, this part's gonna be edited. Then we're gonna do a millennial pause so I know when to stop editing. Alright. Do y'all like it?
Yeah, it's fine. I think so.
Okay. Millennial pause. Hi everyone. Today we're gonna do a podcast and we're gonna ask two very different people about their experiences and friendships and forming bonds today. Today our participants or our guests are Elisa and Brenda.
Hey guys.
Introduce yourselves.
Hi. I'm Brenda. I'm Elisa.
Okay. Anyways, so today I'm gonna ask y'all some questions and you're gonna answer. I know that you wrote down some answers that you wanted to remember. So, who was your first friend?
I can go first. My first friend was a girl. Her name was Perla, and I remember she had very long hair, and she played the piano. I remember she was the first person I considered being my friend because I would constantly go out of my way to look for her during recess, and also she was one of the first people that teachers considered to be a bad influence on me because they thought that she made me talk a lot during class. So that was my first friend, Perla. I don't know where she's at now, but I hope her life is well.
My first friend was Sheila Ortiz. I used to see her at breakfast and lunch, but because we weren't in the same classroom, we never really got to interact until the first grade. She was very pretty. I remember she had very long hair. She had baby bangs. She wore these glossy Mary Janes, and I consider her my first friend because she was the first person that ever talked to me.
Okay, that's really nice. I like that both of you have someone that you both consider special during you were very young. It's very good. My next question will be, do you think the way you were raised affected the way you view friendship?
Well, for me, I do think that the way I was raised did affect. Just because I had older siblings that were like 5 and 8 years older than me, and I think I saw them being very extroverted and very social, and that made me want to be social. As well as my mom, she was very talkative with other moms, so I felt in a way I was kind of forced to socialize from a young age. So I kind of like, whenever I had to do friends on my own, it was an easier thing to do.
I think the way that I was raised did affect me, my relationships, my friendships, just because I'm also like the firstborn, so I was kind of like very extroverted as a kid. Like being shy was never the problem. I was just very, very talkative. So yeah, I think in a way, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Alright, I'm glad to hear that. But at least I'm glad to hear that your upbringing had a positive effect on y'all. My next question will be, did a friendship ever hurt you, and why?
Okay. For me, I did have a friendship that hurt me. This was in middle school, and the reason why we stopped being friends was because she started kind of being mean to me, and then like at the same time, I kind of saw her going down a bad pathway, and I didn't want to be associated or have that type of life. So I just cut her out of my life randomly. So yeah, it hurt, but I think it was for the best.
I miss the person my old friend used to be a lot. It's kind of really sad. She just blew up at me. I might have like given her a reason to, but at the same time it was just kind of like, well, you know me, I know you, why would you do that? And it hurt a lot to see her leave. And I remember that summer my cousin used to tell me like, you looked so sad, like it just looked like you were always thinking, and I was like, yes, because it hurt a lot. But I think it's for the best because again, she's just a completely different person, and I can't stay there.
Sorry to hear you had such difficult interactions in the past. And my next question is going to be, are you mature enough to walk away now? from that situation?
I think for me, I am mature now. I think my life has taught me that you can't force someone that doesn't want to be near you or doesn't have a good positive effect on you. You can't force them to be next to you. So I think I'm mature enough now to know that it's okay if people do leave.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like now I'm very good at setting boundaries. I'm really good at communicating. It's like I finally like learned to be by myself, because something I really did struggle with was just like depending on one friend, you know. And I'm glad that I'm finally learning to be alone.
It's good. I'm glad both of you seem to have grown since then. And my next question would be, what would you say to your past self regarding building friendships and making bonds with new people?
I think for me, I would tell my past self to like never let that stop, to keep being extroverted and also to be nicer to new people. And I would also just tell her that the friends that she did make were some of the best friends that she could have had, and she still has connections with them, so it's pretty good.
I think to my past self, I'd love to tell her that it's okay to change, to be yourself. You don't have to stress yourself to be liked. You know, I feel like that I would love to say that to her.
Alright. I know to the past questions, I gave them the questionnaire beforehand, but now there's going to be a couple new questions that they didn't have time to think about. Some of them will be what are some good questions to ask y'all?
You're improvising?
Yeah, because this isn't long enough.
You forgot to ask this question.
Which one?
The second one. Did you struggle making friends more?
Did I ask that?
No, you
you
skipped
did.
over it.
Yeah, I just skipped that whole shit.
Yeah.
My bad, it looked like this one. Okay, well that could be the other one.
Okay.
I'm lying. Y'all did have time to script your answers. Okay. Okay, my next question will be, did you struggle making friends and why?
I didn't struggle making friends. I think a big part of me was very intrigued by new people. Like, I didn't know anything about them, and that interested me a lot. Like, I wanted to learn everything about them. So that kind of like prompted me to be more extroverted with new people, and that made me make friends easier.
I think I definitely did struggle making friends, especially when I was little, because I had short hair and everyone else had long hair. I thought I was weird or something. But also, like, growing up, I remember I was always moving around, so I was always kind of the new student mid-year. And I remember everybody was already in their own, like, friend groups, so I couldn't really just insert myself in there, you know? In high school, I was told a lot I was very unapproachable because I looked mean, which I don't know if that's true, but that is, I definitely did struggle. Now I don't. I feel like, no, I don't. Not right now.
That's good. That's good. Alright. And my next question will be unscripted. So, I'd like to ask y'all both if there was one person who you wanted to become friends with and what you did to make that happen.
Wait, can you say that again?
We're gonna cut this part out.
Friend crushes.
Yeah,
Wait,
friend
what?
Like friend crushes. Like, have you ever wanted to be someone's friend really bad?
Oh, okay.
That you,
What did you do
What
to
did you
scheme
do?
your
Like,
way
what
in
you
there?
plot? What did you plot?
This got me thinking because I realized that Carolina was plotting on somebody and I was like, wait.
I was looking plotting on Wendy.
You never plotted on nobody?
Not even middle school, elementary school, like,
You never wanted to be someone's friend because like, oh, they're cool.
yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to them.
I did. It was conference though. It was elementary, so I just.
You didn't plot.
Yeah, she was like, I remember her name was Brianna. I really wanted to be her friend.
What you do?
Like, I tried to talk to her, she just wasn't vibing with me, bro.
Yeah, okay, so we could talk about your
Yeah, we can talk about your failure and then my success.
Shut the fuck up. My success. Okay.
Okay.
Get your shit together. We're about to do Multimodal pause. I will be citing your hand movements and your fidgeting as body language. That
Damn, you're gonna
people
see
should-
my knee shaking, bro.
Yeah, that's
Oh God.
a good example of body language. Not Brenda. No, it's okay. Do what you want. I like this. The body language. Okay. Millennial pause. Okay, we're back. And for the next unscripted question, it's going to be: did you ever want to become someone's friend, and what did you do to get there?
I think I did really want to become someone's friend at one point, and at that time she didn't like me, and she had a good reason for not liking me, but I think I realized I'd rather be friends with her than with someone else. So I kind of just put myself into her group of friends over and over, and like I started being extra super nice, which is probably weird because I was kind of mean to her beforehand, but I think that worked because we're still friends.
I think the friend that I really wanted to be friends with, I remember people used to always confuse us because we had kind of almost the same hair and almost the same vibe when it came to clothing. And I remember, like, when I first talked to her, she was very standoffish, and you could tell she did not really like the fact that we were being compared. And it was kind of like a girl, you're so confusing type vibe with Charlie and Six and Lord. But I remember we ended up in the same like classroom one time, and I remember I just sat next to her and we just like bonded so hard. We ended up being like two completely different people with like some similarities, but like we ended up being the bestest of friends, and that's what I really love about that friend. She's always there.
I'm glad that both of you had good experiences regarding making friends that you wanted to make. I also wanted to ask both of y'all if you'd ever experienced someone wanting to be your friends, and what did you do regarding that? Like, did you let them approach you? Did you like not let them approach you? What happened with that? Like, was anyone outwardly trying to be your friend, and how did you respond to that?
I've always been very welcoming when people come up to me whenever they want to talk to me. I'm always very like, oh yeah, you can come talk to me, you know. Sometimes though, when I would like hear things about them, I'd be kind of standoffish sometimes. So maybe that's what kind of interrupted that friendship. But most of the time, I was very welcoming and kind of just let them talk to me. And I talked back.
I think for me, whenever like people did try to approach me, I was doing my best to like find out as much as I could about them in a short amount of time, so that I didn't like judge them as hard. But I think for me it was very easy to like just be open about it and just like know that people are gonna be different. So it's just like, okay, if it works out and we like have a connection after this, then that means that we're becoming friends. And it's easy, like a connection's really easy, it's not forced. If it's easy, then I know they're my friends, and if it's like kind of feeling forced, then I don't bother to continue it.
Okay, that's well. And my next question is going to be more of advice you would give to other people who are currently struggling making friends. I know that we are all first years in college, and a lot of people are currently struggling with loneliness. Even if it might not be apparent, a lot of first years do struggle connecting with college and making friends, getting out of their environment. So I'd want to ask both of you if you have any advice to lonely college freshmen or people that are going to be freshmen next year.
So I'm a commuter, so I guess I'd give people who commute advice. As a commuter, like just talk to the people you see regularly on the train and on the bus. That's how I made two of my greatest friends. Just talk to them, you know, they don't bite. And if they don't want to talk, it's fine, just let them be, you know. And also, like, through those friendships, you can figure out when y'all see each other, like at school or on the train, on the bus. You guys aren't alone, you know. So I feel like that's my advice. Just go up to them, you know.
I I think my advice would be definitely go to events even if you feel awkward. More likely than not, someone else is also going to that event to create a connection with someone or find someone that has similar interests. So just going to small events, even if they're not big, can like cause a new friendship, and their friends can also be even good. So I think just going to events would be a good one. Just try not to be shy. Don't stand off. Actually go and try to talk to new people.
Actually, I want to add something. Share food. Share food. I remember one time I was in the elevator and I had like a peeled pomegranate in my hand, but it was like 3 pomegranates. And some guy got in the elevator and he was like, "Oh, like you have so much pomegranate." And I was like, "Yeah, you want some?" And he was like, "Oh, okay." And that was like, we're not friends, but like that was a little interaction.
Okay, I just want to mention something since I am more of a mediator this time and not participating. But I saw someone in the parking lot and she was bringing her stuff in when we were moving in, and then I didn't have anything to carry. I was done carrying my things, so I just offered her. She didn't have her family with her. They'd already like dropped her off and everything. And I just was like, "Hey, do you want me to like help you with your luggage?" And she lived like 2 floors above me. And when I dropped her off, she shows me to her room. We like drink soda, and then we go on our way. And then now we say hi. There's an event. She tells me something cool is happening. She tells me. I see her. I'm like, "Oh, there's an event. I think you would like it." We go to the farmers market now. I think it's really fun. You should definitely like, if you see someone, you should definitely try to talk to them more often than not. They will enjoy talking to you, or they won't like brush you off. They will not ignore you. So I just want to ask both of you if you have any last comments or concerns or last pieces of advice.
I think for me, I would say is everyone at college might seem scary, but everyone is kind of in their own world, and they really don't mind, and they're not judgy. I feel like everyone's very welcoming, but as a new person and as a freshman, as a first year, it can be scary because you don't know. But often than not, a lot of people are just very nice. They're not mean.
I think I would say just be nice. Just be kind, nice to everyone, Won't come easily.
That will be the end of today's podcast regarding friendships and bonds.
Bye, guys.
Wasn't it pausing?